The United Nations, an international organization founded in 1945. Among its main tasks is maintaining international peace and security and developing friendly relations among countries.
This was also the theme of Kevin during the final session.
While many hail the efforts of this organization that is built on many decent principles, we want to delve deeper into the maintaining international peace and security bit, which is questionable. Let's start with the structural issue. There are 6 main organs in the UN, including of course the Security Council and the General Assembly. But there are also 15 specialized agencies, including a postal union, a meteorological organization, which by the way has 8 sub-commissions and about 24 sub-programs, and an international tribunal for the law of the sea. Many analysts say that the tens of commissions and agencies at the UN cause uncalled for internal competition, which wastes energy and time that could be used wisely if there were less agencies that could use more of the funding. Some UN staff members described it as a Byzantine bureaucracy, in which reports must be reviewed on 3 continents, even if that means it won't be published until it is out of date. There were also reports from UN staff that any senior level staff are guaranteed contracts that can cost upwards of $300,000 to $500,000 a year. Wow. A 2007 UN Office of Internal Oversight Services report said that $1.4 billion in contracts for peacekeeping showed significant corruption schemes that tainted $619 million. That's 40% of those contracts. Which brings us to our next point. The UN is expensive. Its total budget was $13.9 billion in 2010 to 2011. If you think that's a lot, the number has actually went up to over $50 billion in 2016. But let's talk about actual conflicts that the UN is actively involved in and that should render tangible results. In Syria, the UN has repeatedly expressed outrage and condemnation, which they're very good at, by the way, but have been actually powerless in stopping the carnage. It is possible that long into the future, similar to the case of Cambodia, where the Khmer Rouge are only now being tried for crimes committed in the 1970s, an actual process may be initiated in Syria. Several UN officials directly involved in Syria have quit their positions out of frustration with the lack of meaningful progress. There were several well-meaning talks initiated by Special Envoy Staffan de Mistura and those before him, but the Security Council has remained largely on the sidelines, adopting only a handful of resolutions, many of which remain dead letters. And of course, the obvious deadlock in vetoes between Russia, the US, and China. In Yemen, the UN Security Council passed 9 resolutions within 8 years, none of which have been implemented yet. Although the UN is very effective on the social and development fronts, helping the impoverished around the world, which is actually expected of them given the billions of dollars donated to the organization every year, in terms of their ability to cease conflict and maintain peace, it seems that it is all talk, a lot of talk, and no action and no tangible results. Of course, some of the blame needs to lie on world leaders themselves, but unfortunately, this is the way of the world. And what this means is that a serious change might be needed in this overarching structure to accommodate new world challenges.